The electronic payments industry is an interesting industry to begin with, and it's funny. There's been a lot of stuff out there on what and I know what the dark web is, but consider the dark web out there. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around electronic payments, but I will say that if nothing else, just from a pragmatic standpoint, the electronic payments industry has really stepped up in the midst of this pandemic to help businesses and consumers do things that they used to do, but in a manner that they're more comfortable with during, COVID times, so to speak. And so one of those things has to do with payments that are in a contactless fashion, whether that's using an app that, for example, let's just use, your drive-through or your pickup and takeout restaurants that you can now pull up in their parking lot. You've already got your order in, you tell them what space number you're in, and then boom, 3 minutes later, they walk it out to your car. And you've already paid for it, and the transaction's already complete. Things like that help people still go about their business, but add another layer of safety for them. Other forms of contactless payment where they're using their phone and they're not having to touch a pin pad or something like that. I think the average person, from just a common sense standpoint, looks at common surfaces a little bit differently today. Things that other people are touching and that a lot of people are touching. So, for example, there's a grocery store chain down here in the Southeast called Publix that does a great job of having people within their little vestibules or their little foyers that are, wiping down carts that people have used. So that's a fantastic adaptation that they've used that we've seen to help with people being more comfortable in their stores. Well, the same thing can be done in small businesses. When it comes to pin pads and things like that, you can have the type of equipment that allows for people to bypass, entering a pin if they don't want to, that they can use their phone or a card that has that contactless, EMV, or NFC payment technology built into it. And that way, these common surfaces are not being touched over and over and over again. And even for employees, say, we do point of sale systems for restaurants and retail. And so when you have common surfaces that are being touched a lot by people, one of those is, or by the employees, one of those is the screens on these, because they're touch screens. I mean, touch is in the name of the technology that's being used. And so just people using, saran wrap covers over those and then, replacing them several times a day or wiping them down on a regular basis. I've seen these things happening. We've provided actually wipes and things like that to several of our customers in order to facilitate just being, more sanitary and things like that. But I think that the mindset of people in general has changed, drastically. I mean, I've probably shaken 3 hands in the last, 5 months or so. Just because people are either, fist bumping or they're, giving you the elbow or something like that. And so I think all of these things are lessons learned because of common surfaces. And in a payment environment, especially, everyone has to pay for their goods and services. And so it's a central, point of contact that people are running into. And so there's been a lot of ingenuity in that case. But, other things, there's been some governmental intervention as far as what businesses can be open and not. And one of the things that I think Darren's going to talk about that I've been pleased to see is just the absolute, creativity and ingenuity of businesses and just their sheer will. And I think those things win the day in a COVID environment. I also think timing is important. People are tuned into social media and the news cycle on a consistent basis. And so doing the things in your business that are going to make sure that people are comfortable and confident when they go to your business can really set you apart from the competition. And then, I think the last thing that I've learned is that some things that we've seen pop up during COVID are going to be here for a while, especially from a payments technology standpoint. One of those being when you get a receipt and it has a QR code on it, and you can use your phone and that QR code to pay for your bill and things like that, paying through apps, contactless payments and that. And so I think these are good things, and I don't think that they're going anywhere. And I think we should, embrace some of these things because I think it's probably better for the long term anyways. Now, I don't think for the long term people want to wear masks and all of that, or that we'll be able to force them, but I think all of us have hope, and I'm hopeful for 2021. I'm hopeful for the vaccine and all of these things to come and help us, kind of make it through so that we can put a lot of things we do want to leave behind us, in 2020.